Welcome back to Show and Tell. I'm Billie. I'm your host. Today I'm going to be running you through my top 10 picks for the best holiday gifts for the knitter in your life. While there are many things that knitters use and need in pursuit of their craft, the things that I've selected are things that I would consider to be more in the gift category. I've arranged them from most affordable to most lavish. The last two are probably in the hundreds, if not thousands of dollar range. What could they be? Well, you'll have to stay till the very end to find out. I don't have the item in my possession. I'm going to insert a picture for you showing the website where you can purchase the item. And in the show notes below, I've given links to a place where you can purchase every single one of these things. Well, except for the last couple, and you'll understand when we get to them. Full disclosure, I am an Amazon affiliate. So any of the things that you purchase through the Amazon links that I have provided will help to benefit this channel. So please shop early, shop often. Okay, starting with number 10. Very lovely, ornate pair of scissors. Knitters, when they come to the end of a color and they have to clip the yarn, must have a small, sharp scissor, a scissor that's portable. So if they're out traveling in a car, on a plane, they can bring it with them. I love these because they come in a box ready for gift wrapping and because they're decorated with this beautiful little tassel. Number 9, those I have in hand. Item 9 is one that I personally own. They're blocking mats. Inside of this box, there are 9 foam mats that look like this. They're thick enough so that this is not super flexible. You put them together like jigsaw puzzle pieces, and if you assemble them in the order from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, they're numbered, the lines will all match up. Now, what's special about these lines is that they have been pre-measured in 1-inch squares. While the set does come with a tape measure, having those marks will eliminate the need for you to have to be measuring. It's really practical if you're knitting a front of a sweater with 20-inch bust across and 20-inch on the back, you're able to just pin it out to the 20-inch mark without having to grab a tape measure. The set does come with a box of T-pins. And for those who are unfamiliar, this is what a T-pin looks like. It's in the shape of a T, and it presses right into the foam. So you can spread your fabric out and pin it in place. Blocking helps give your fabric a nice smooth texture and helps the stitches to fall into their proper place. So a more experienced knitter, really any knitter, should want to be blocking their items, but they may not have the set. So I think that makes a great gift. Coming in at number 8 is a small I-cord machine. I don't use a lot of I-cord, but some people do put I-cord trim around a neckline. And it's not very much fun to knit. It's 3 stitches forward, 3 stitches back, back and forth, 3, 3, 3, until you make a long tube. So this machine cranks it out. Again, it's probably not something that you would buy for yourself, which makes it the ideal holiday gift. Number 7, another practical item. If you have a skein of yarn and you want to ball it up into a cake that makes it easy to knit from, there's something called a yarn swift and ball winder. They're 2 different objects, but they usually come sold as a set because you can't use one without the other. The Swift is, well, picture's worth 1,000 words, but the Swift is the one that opens up like an umbrella that you put your skein of yarn around. And the winder is the thing that you turn to wind this cake onto. In the olden days, people would sit with the skein like this or put it across the back of a chair and wind their yarn into a ball. You no longer have to do that. These items are commercially available. At number 6, I'm proposing a task light. If you're knitting with black yarn like this, especially at night, it can be very, very straining on the eyes. Task lights are useful in general, but particularly if you're knitting with a dark yarn, and especially if you're knitting at night when there isn't a lot of natural light available. What I love about this task light is that it has adjustable height. So if you're knitting in bed, you might want it at a different height than if you were sitting in a chair. At number 5, I've listed a dress form. When you're knitting, particularly if your garment is made in pieces, it's very practical to have a form with similar measurements to your own that you can try your garment on when it's in progress. That way you can see if it's fitting the form, you know that it will fit you. So again, a fairly practical tool to have in your toolbox. Number 4, probably my most essential item of all, are CHAOGU needles, a set of interchangeable needles. I use these every single day. Some of my needles are missing because they're in a project right now. It goes from size 2 needles, or 2.75 millimeters, up to size 15 needles, or 10 millimeter. And cable cords. There are 2 thicknesses of cable cords, one for the larger needles and a thinner cable for the more slender needles. And they're not exchangeable. You can't use the thin cable with the heavier needles, but there are 3 different lengths in each of the diameter cables. So you're able to combine a short, a medium, and a long using a little connector piece that they give you in the set. It's so tiny, I don't know if you'll be able to see that. This will enable you to take a shorter cord and a longer cord and combine them into a much longer cord. And the join is so smooth that your stitches will glide over it. There's also a zippered pocket in the front where they give you a couple of additional tools. This is a needle gauge. So if you're not able to read the laser imprinted size that's on the needle, you can try your needle in these various holes until you get the proper fit, and then the sizes are marked on here. And they also give you stitch markers. And then they give you this additional little packet that has caps that you can screw in. So if you want to remove your needles and use them on another project, so you can put these tips, these little caps on, stoppers, that hold all your stitches in place. They won't slide off. CHAOGU needles are not inexpensive, but if your gift recipient is someone who knits every day, every week, they're going to have these for years and years and years to come. It's such a worthwhile investment. I totally love mine. I travel with them. They're so compact. I just can't say enough. So Highly recommend. At number 3, I propose a knitting bag. It's wonderful if you're traveling or just to keep beside you when you're knitting. You can have many balls of yarn in it, and there are grommets on the top that allow different colors of yarn to pass through the lid, so your yarn will not get twisted if you're doing color work. Also, the front panel unzips and folds down and is a great storage place for all of your notions. Knitters generally use a crochet hook, sometimes many crochet hooks, as well as a variety of knitting needles, stitch markers, scissors, all kinds of other things can be stored in that front compartment. Number 2 on my list is an all expenses paid trip to Vogue Knitting Live this coming February in New York City. Vogue Knitting Live is roughly a 2-day event in Manhattan at the Marriott Marquis Hotel. Throughout Saturday and Sunday, there are classes and lectures given by some of the top names in knitting. Each class costs $120 for a 3-hour class, but there are a plethora of different courses, from learning different techniques, getting better fitting garments, and so on. I've given the link where you can go and see a list of all the courses. But this gift, if the person you're giving it to is not in New York, would entail at least 1 or possibly 2 nights at the Marriott Marquis, which is offering a rate of $267 a night. Plus you might have airfare. And then you have food in New York, which you got to figure 40 or 50 bucks a day minimum. And then the classes and the ticket entry to the marketplace where yarn vendors are selling their wares. Those range from $8 for just a 2-hour visit to the marketplace to $787 if you want all day classes and marketplace entry and so on. Individual classes tend to run $120 for a 3-hour class. So you can see this is a fairly significant gift. What an unbelievable gift that would be for someone to have the opportunity to come to New York. I'll even throw in a session with me. You're on your own to book the tickets, and I will provide the website and also your hotel accommodations and air travel. But it's just a suggestion for you of what I think any knitter would find to be an incredible holiday gift. Coming in at number 1 would be my most lavish suggestion: a trip to Scotland, perhaps for Shetland Wool Week next September 2023. This year I attended Shetland Wool Week and thought it was a wonderful experience I would recommend to anyone who's a serious knitter. Shetland is more than Shetland sheep and Shetland ponies. It has a rich history of knitting, Shetland lace, and Fair Isle patterns. Some of the fastest knitters in the world can be found there, and those are the people who are teaching the classes at Shetland Wool Week. You may also have an opportunity to visit other parts of the islands and to see how wool is made in woolen mills. Before we made the journey to Shetland, we spent some time in Edinburgh and Glasgow, and I fell in love with those 2 cities so much so that I am offering a trip with me. You'll stay in the hotel where I stayed. I'll take you to some top museums. There's incredible art there. The Parliament is there. There's a palace there. There's a castle there. There's some wonderful things to see. Glasgow also has some amazing art and architecture. I will be taking care of hotel accommodations, and each day there'll be a program for various museums, unbelievable art, palace, parliament, all sorts of very wonderful tourist attractions. I had no idea before I went what a rich cultural city Edinburgh is, and Glasgow as well. Old universities with magnificent campuses. There's a lot to see and enjoy. For that, I don't have a price cooked up yet, but you do want to get your name on my mailing list. So reach out to me either on Ravelry or Instagram. If all else fails, leave a comment below and we'll try and connect. The dates are September 16th to September 23rd, which is the week preceding Shetland Wool Week. So if your gift recipient could plan to go on to Shetland Wool Week, I will make sure that that person gets all the bookings and gets to where they need to be in time to catch the ferry, if that's the way that they're planning to travel. There is also a flight. So those are my top 10 suggestions for you. I hope that by now you're in the thick of a wonderful holiday season, and I look forward to seeing you again. Bye.